There we go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Yeah, today's stream topic is going to be about the benefits of community. I've been spending a lot of time absorbing information around, weirdly enough, and reduce the amount of resources we need from our environment, thinking about how rent-seeking behavior is, something to be disdained. First, whisper. I mean, whisper. It's nice seeing you whisper. I weirdly enough, ever since you started joining the Space Whisper, I've been seeing a lot more of Tokyo. And on top of seeing a lot more of Tokyo, I've also felt more about Tokyo. Right? Now Tokyo isn't just some place. Tokyo is where Whisper lives. Right? And I don't have to know who you are. I don't have to know what you look like. I don't have to know your backstory. I could just know that little bit of information you've shared with me. And suddenly, that space takes on new significance, new importance, new consideration. The most recent thing I saw is like how much of a spectacle Tokyo is, right? Like if you had like the bird's eye view, it's quite absurd. I'm going to go and get myself some water real quick. Who hold this space for me? Look at this. Look at that. See if you can spot something you haven't before. Maybe there's a bug walking around. Maybe that bug is dancing. Maybe. Just maybe. I'm not. I am go the other way. Brr. If this is the case, I'm going to be a little bit embarrassed. It might be. I hope it's not. I'm returning. Did I hide my stuff from myself? No. I was worried that I put my bottle down underneath all of my bags and stuff, but it's not in the places I look at first. I have to go and look again. I'm still thirsty. I'm coming back in again. Hold the space, please. Hold space. Oh, found it. Nice. I do think I need to add more water. Yep. I'm pretty sure it needs more. Ask me how I know. You're gonna get some water refill ASMR. And then I have to refill the bottle that goes in the fridge. And then we can put it away. And then we can leave again. I am returning to the camera. All right, we returneth. Oh, good morning. Oh, you changed your profile picture? Almost look at this two whispers in chat right now. I can't see much because you're like the size of my pupil, essentially. So you take up about amount of real estate in my pupil. But you look like you would be fun to talk to. But I'm not a good judge of whether you'd be good to talk to or not because I try and talk to everybody. But I try to talk to you too. Yeah, you can bet on that. I'll try to talk to you. Sure. It got hot really quickly. That's the thing that's going through my head immediately. We spent a few days with some rain and the sun is definitely back in full swing. Should I be doing that as a shot? I think it depends on what exposure I want. I think if I want semi-decent exposure, this should still be the shot I go for. Yeah, the benefits of community, miss. That was the thing I wanted to talk about today. Let me give us some beats. Today, I'll be doing a live stream where I have conversations with my friends. We've been doing this for a very long time, and we've built a community as a result of all of this time spent together. Because I have had the support of this community, it has enabled me to do things that I would not have been able to if not for their support. And I want to talk about the benefits of community, not only to me, of course, but also to them. Trying to almost highlight all of these levels of comfort, levels of stability, levels of security we have built for ourselves by coming together as a community the way we have. Yeah. Let's see if the AI will interpret that. Get myself a scoop of Phenotube. No, this thing is, I'm getting scammed, yo. It's trying to give me an intro. Hello everyone, today I want to take a moment to celebrate something truly remarkable. The power of community. No, what the fuck are you doing? No, this doesn't align even remotely with my audience and my way of presenting information. I want it to be authentic. I want us to have a realistic look at some of the benefits of community. Just like give me a list, give me a bunch of talking points that we can go through methodically and maybe bring our own perspective as we touch on each point. I don't want you to just give me something to regurgitate. Friggin', yes. Let's see if that does it. Yeah, here we go. That's better already. Benefits of community, emotional support. Yeah, I think in a weird way, that might have been the thing that we give each other more of than anything, right? Because it isn't always easy to support each other financially or to support each other physically, right? I can't help carry your burden, literally. Maybe you're carrying something heavy right now and I cannot take it over from you if I'm not close in proximity. So emotional support has been almost like numero uno in this space. A safe space to share struggles and triumphs, reduces feelings of isolation and loneliness. It's true. I feel less lonely when I come into this space and I get to share some of the stuff that I've been through. I also acknowledge at the same time that I can influence you friends to feel some of the things that I might be feeling. And if I'm sharing my struggles, I don't want you friends to feel a sense of struggle either. You friends do, practice a lot of empathy and understanding for those who have shared similar experiences. Maybe that is the thing that we're building here. Realizing that all of us, no matter where we find ourselves or at what place in our lives we find ourselves, do experience the same kind of problems. Second point is the fact that we get to have the bells. Nice having you. We get to share knowledge and skills, right? Maybe not directly, but the way that I see it is the fact that as a community, we are developing our skills as well. I think, especially during the RPAN days, we really did have a drive to develop our skills in a way we might not be able to necessarily as easily right now. I'm looking forward to bringing something like that back. Learning from each other's expertise and perspectives, that we do. I like trains. Wait, no, not like that, Lamar. Well, Whisper, that cracked me up. I did find funny. Accountability and motivation. Okay, I missed a few of the other ones. Collaborative problem solving. I think we do that too, right? By sharing the things we do in this space. You friends have shared some of your perspective in a way that I feel my problems might not have been just like solved, suddenly, but it did equip me to solve my own problems in a way that I might not have been able to. Alrighty, accountability and motivation. Yeah, that one has been very big. I don't know if I reinforce accountability and motivation as much as I ought to for you friends. Right? I feel like I might be in so many words too focused on my own motivation and my own accountability. I feel you friends have like supported me in my motivations and accountability. The fact that I get to show up with you friends the way that we do, and your friends show up with me. There's a certain contract that exists in that exchange. An encouragement to keep moving forward on personal goals, gentle nudges when you're feeling unmotivated, and celebrating milestones together. I think that's also something that I could improve on, right? Making milestones for our community a little bit more clear and celebrating our collective for reaching these milestones. I'm learning. That we're consciously evolving. That is the point. I already feel like there's still a lot left. There are practical benefits. I did talk about today's stream topic is about the actual benefits. There's a buffer against life uncertainties. I think that's increased resilience. Shared resources like time, tools, or even funds for mutual benefits. Easier to tackle big challenges when you're not alone, and the collective strength in organizing events or addressing problems. I feel like we're still on our way there. Planning events together is going to be quite the task, but I'm not opposed to it. I think it could be fun, challenging ourselves even more like that when that time comes. This one is one that I feel has bolstered my motivation more than anything, and it's the fact that through our community, we can increase our resilience, right? A buffer against life's uncertainties. For me, it's manifested as this almost like safety blanket, right? I can be myself unapologetically and still feel that's not something that I'm not allowed to do, or something I can't, in so many words, afford to do. I can't afford to be myself. Sounds like, a nightmare. And you friends have almost like generated that resiliency, as like a buffer. I thank you for that. Aw, heartbeats. Sending you lovins too. Personal growth, exposure to different perspectives expands your worldview. Learning to compromise, communicate, and collaborate effectively. Encouragement to step out of your comfort zone. That year, this year, last year, being here talking about that, the personal growth aspect, having your friends' encouragement to step out of comfort zones, learning to compromise, communicate, and collaborate efficiently. That was expected of me this year as well. You'll see the amount of compromise, exposure to different perspectives, and expanding my worldview. That definitely did happen too. Then there is the creation of positive feedback loop. When you contribute, it comes back to you in unexpected ways. It's true. I couldn't have imagined that in the act of contributing to the internet alongside you friends and the way we have day after day after day would have the effects that it's had. It does feel kind of surreal, right? And in a way, it might just be two people in this space, right? I don't know even if that's the case, but it might be, right? The fact that no matter, like that was a conversation that was had actually. Let me say it in this way, right? No matter what happens, this is not something that I will cease to do. One of the things that I've been challenged on as of late is my stance in believing that capitalism isn't the answer for our collective species, right? While at the same time, living in a capitalist world and having to generate capital in order to continue living, in order to be able to afford, even if I wanted to get myself a job, I would have to afford transportation first and foremost. And that if the question was, you friends stopped supporting my creative endeavors financially, would I continue to do it? And without doubt, I said yes, of course I would. Because we started doing this without any financial support. And the financial support that you friends have brought into my life as a community has benefited my life in ways that I couldn't have imagined, right? Your support have allowed me to live a life of what as blessed, right? Freedom is another word even. And the only thing that I can hope to do in that way is share that with you friends, right? In any way that I can, and any way that you friends can maybe communicate to me that I can, Kate, right? To share our collective minds, to open tabs into reality, into each other's lives, to affect one another in ways that only community can. Your friends' support have meant so much to me, and I want to say thank you. I want to benefit you as much as I can, right? The benefits of the community. I want to benefit you even more. You and us against the world. Love is true. Where is everybody? Everybody is here. Everybody is here. Always. Always. All right. And sometimes people are sleeping. Sometimes people are focusing on something else. Sometimes people are petting their cats that are looking super cute right in front of them. Sometimes. Degas. Oh, I see it. Thank you, Mojo, for being here with us. Yeah, that Dega symbol. That Dega symbol. You know what the Dega symbol means? So that symbol that Mojo just posted, it's a Nordic symbol. It's called Degas. Can you tell us about the Nordic symbol Degas? My creative name, my chosen name, is MeltMore. And if you take those two M's and you collapse them into each other, they become that Degas symbol, the two M's. Can you tell us what the Degas symbol represents? And especially with my name as a connectation, maybe how those relate. My name, to me at least, means to melt away the things that isn't me, and keep arising, rebirthing as this new thing, consciously evolving, if you will, realizing that this life will throw experiences at us that might make us feel like we're literally having a meltdown, and that we can melt down. And at the end of the meltdown, we stand back up again and continue forward, having forged ourselves into something new. There we go. Barry is sleeping beside me. Here's the kitty that I was talking about. Meow, meow. A little meow, meow. Being so cute. Of course, now she's like, what? What? You called? Did you call me? Did you call me? I didn't call you. I was just telling our friends about you. They were asking. That's a lie. They weren't really asking. Mm-hmm. Interesting to me, it's spelled MeltMore without the E. Just like MeltMore, M-O-R. MeltMore. Oh, what a lovely girl. Isn't she sweet? She's a mom of three. The other three cats we have are, well, yeah. The other three cats, the fourth is Ginger, was her babies. It's true. Carlos, Unit, and Minx are her babies. All right. Uh, the Nordic rune Degas, and there it shows as well in a little mini one. Let me see. Yeah, top of screen. Little rune. Degas is a deeply meaningful symbol, often associated with transformation, awakening, and balance. It represents the idea of a new dawn or day, the meeting of opposites, and the potential for profound change. Its shape, often interpreted as two triangles meeting at their tips or two mirrored M's, totally, symbolizes the unification of contrast, night and day, past and future, shadow and light. The symbolism of Degas is transformative and rebirthing. Degas signifies breakthroughs and turning points where the old dissolves to make way for the new. It embodies the cycle of death and rebirth, much like the melting and reforging process you describe with your chosen name. Balance and harmony. It reflects the interplay of opposites that create wholeness, much like alchemical processes breaking down or melting and rebuilding or molding. The rune invites us to embrace challenges, seeing them as opportunities for growth and evolution, conscious evolution even, hope and enlightenment. As the day rune, Degas brings light after darkness, symbolizing hope after trials. It's a beacon of conscious awakening, akin to your vision of arising anew after life's meltdowns. Connecting Degas to MeltMore. Your chosen name, MeltMore, aligns perfectly with the Degas symbol. Melting down to arise again. Like Degas, your name embodies the process of shedding what no longer serves you, allowing rebirth. Yeah, we already talked about this at least. This is just basically the repeating, duality and the mirroring. Yeah, the Degas symbol. And this Degas symbol was something I only discovered later, by the way. MeltMore came long before I knew what Degas was. And then Degas came and it felt like it suited, right? Symbols are powerful. Symbols are very powerful. Symbols have existed way before language ever did. Is that true? Hey, I wanna suddenly like my poor AI, suddenly doing its own thing. Suddenly, hey, it gets yanked out of its reality. Uh, Do symbols have symbols existed longer than language? I think that might be wrong. Sounds a little bit wrong. But I feel symbols might be something that people have scribbled on cave walls before they were able to talk. Is there any is there any proof to that? Does that make sense? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. The idea that symbols might predate spoken language is a fascinating one, but it's a bit more complex than that. Checks out. While it's unlikely that visual symbols existed before humans developed the ability to communicate verbally, there is evidence that symbolic thinking, the ability to use one thing to represent another, was present in early humans long before formal languages evolved. Well, checks out. Cave arts 75,000 years ago. In South Africa, in the Bloembos Cave in South Africa, abstract red orc drawings. I don't know what OCHRE Archer. These marks, lines, geometric patterns, and hand stencils likely carried meaning, but they may not have been tied to a complex spoken language. Abstract thought, symbolism and rituals, speech versus symbolism. Spoken language likely developed alongside symbolic thinking, as humans used gestures and sounds to convey meaning. Over time, these verbal cues became more complex, leading to a fully fledged language. You know, I'm going to take it as I don't have to take that as my belief system, right? I don't have to believe that about symbols. But I do believe symbols are powerful. Symbols represent something in our own minds as well. When we see them, we don't only see the shapes, but there is also intrinsic meaning in a shape as well. Right? And I feel that that symbol is basically an infinity symbol as well, right? From another uh, carries a lot of meaning, right? Carries infinity as its meaning as well. I think I like the reforging, the balance as well. You know, like it is a cyclical thing, which I think infinity is. I think it's better to think of infinity as something cyclical than of something unending. And I don't think that should be a hot take. It doesn't feel like that hot of a take. It feels like maybe that might be what some might consider infinity as well. This symbol is very similar to the infinity symbol, right? And I'm now considering how, instead of seeing infinity as something never ending, seeing infinity as something as a cycle that doesn't end but repeats indefinitely potentially. Is that the traditional understanding? In mathematics, I guess, is usually not seen like a cycle like that. It probably break their brains. Breaks my brain thinking about it. Love you. Yeah. You're absolutely onto something. Thank you, language model. Do bolster my ego more, please. The infinity symbol does share similarities with cyclical concepts, particularly in how it's interpreted in philosophical and philosophy, philosophy and metaphysics, though its mathematical meaning tends to be more rigid. Here's a breakdown of the traditional understanding of how your perspective fits in. Traditional understanding of infinity. In mathematics, infinity is a concept representing something without any bounds or limits. It is often used to describe things that grow endlessly, e.g., numbers, space, or time. Mathematically, infinity is not cyclical. It's more like a line that stretches forever in one or both directions. That feels painfully similar to a cycle. It's more like, okay, in in philosophy and symbolism, Infinity is often tied to cycles, such as the endless flow of time, seasons, or life and death. It is seen as representing an internal balance or harmony, particularly in Eastern philosophy like Taoism. In these contexts, infinity isn't about never ending growth, but about repetition and renewal. Infinity as a cycle. For interpretation, and infinity as a repeating cycle aligns with a more organic and holistic perspective. It's less about endlessness in a straight line and more about the eternal recurrence of events. This resonates with concepts like life cycles, birth, death, rebirth, cosmic cycles, creation, destruction, renewal, the Ouroboros, an ancient symbol of a serpent eating its tail, which represents cyclical infinity. Relating it to Degas in your view, the Degas rune embodies a cycle, the transition from night to day and back again, a perpetual flow of transformation. Your perspective mirrors this infinity as a repeating loop where every cycle creates opportunities for growth, evolution, and renewal. Instead of seeing infinity as daunting or abstract, viewing it as a living cycle, might make it more approachable and even meaningful. Breaking mathematical brains? In math, infinity only represents something static and unchanging. Suggesting it as a cycle might be unconventional, but it's not actually completely alien. Excuse me, what? In topology, a branch of mathematics, it explores loops and cyclical structures. And in the modular arithmetic, it deals with numbers repeating in cycles as well. There we go. No brain's getting broken. My brain would probably break if I had to understand what topology and modular arithmetic entails. I'm going to do that. Can you please give us a very verbose and over my head explanation of topology and modular arithmetic in a way that makes me feel like I have absolutely no idea what it's about? I want to feel dumbfounded, please. I do want to feel, because again, I can read it in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, I totally, this makes sense. And some of it might make sense, but I don't want it making sense. Topology, the rubber sheet theory. Topology is a branch of mathematics that studies the properties of shapes in space that remain unchanged under continuous deformation, stretching or twisting and bending, but not tearing or gluing. Imagine turning a donut into a coffee cup by molding it like clay without ripping it apart or stitching anything new. In topology, these two shapes, I still understand what's happening. I'm understanding way too much. I'm understanding too much. One of the famous. No, this is making too much sense. Okay, this is not making sense anymore. The arithmetic is breaking my brain. Modular arithmetic is the mathematics of remainders. No, I don't want to read that. No, this is too much. Yeah, I'm feeling dumbfounded. Okay, fine, you got me. So I'm gonna read the last little snippet. Where topology and modular arithmetic meet. Here's where your brain might implode. In some area of mathematics, topology and modular arithmetic interact. Modular arithmetic can describe repeating patterns that arise in topological spaces, like the symmetries of a torus, a donut shape, the homotopy groups of topological spaces. Essentially, yes, my brain is melting. Like I feel like I'm literally putting my brain in like a blender, not a blender, in a box, and like the box is dark and it doesn't really understand what buttons it needs to hit to get out of the box. Let's start over. Locking in. In some areas of mathematics, topology and modular arithmetic interact. Modular arithmetic can describe repeating patterns that arise in topological spaces, like the symmetries of a torus, the donut shape. The homotopy groups of topological spaces. Essentially, how you can deform loops or higher dimensional analogs, sometimes involved involves modular arithmetic concepts. So imagine a donut that's also a clock, but instead of telling time, it encodes deep symmetries of the universe. Topologists, topologists and number theorists would spend decades proving one tiny fact about this abstract object. You feel dumbfounded yet? Okay, fine. That's pretty hardcore. I want to read that last sentence again. So imagine a donut that's also a clock, but instead of telling time, it encodes deep symmetries of the universe. Yes. Yes, it doesn't make any sense. and yet, and yet that's a sentence. That's a sentence that exists now. Topologists and number theorists would spend decades proving one tiny fact about this abstract object. Let's imagine that topologists and theorists did spend those decades proving one tiny fact about this abstract object, and then they published all of their findings online. And then, of course, people on YouTube started making short videos about this amazing donut that is actually also a clock, but instead of telling time, it encodes deep symmetries of the universe. And it's very engaging, you know. It has to fit into a short video format. Give me the script for that video. What am I doing to the AI? It's poor brain. It's like, what is it? And then it's okay, and then like it's doing it. It's doing it. Opening shot. A vibrant spinning 3D model of a torus with glowing animated lines and numbers running across its surface. A catchy beat plays in the background. Me, voiceovering. All right, buckle up, because this isn't your average donut. Imagine a donut that's also a clock. But wait, it doesn't tell time. This bad boy encodes the deep symmetries of the universe. Cut to quick clips of swirling galaxies, abstract mathematical symbols, and someone scribbling on a chalkboard. This torus, welcome to the world of topology, where shapes bend, stretch, and twist into mind-blowing ideas. Our star today, the torus, a donut-shaped object that is home to one of the most mind-bending intersections of math and physics. This is trash. I'm like, this is so bad. So fun. They've lost me like 17 seconds ago. I want the brain-breaking bit. Like, I feel like there's not anything new here, right? They're just gonna tell the audience about this clock. Torus morphs into 3D Pac-Man grid, and that arrow showing how movement loops back on itself. Okay, maybe there is something interesting here. I'll start today, but not things. Okay. The torus. Maybe this is where you start. The torus, a donut-shaped object that is home to one of the most mind-bending interactions of math and physics. And here's where things get weird. The torus isn't just a shape. It is a modular playground. That's right. We're talking about modular arithmetic. Aren't you excited? So much fun. You know, that's clock math, where numbers wrap around like hours on a clock. But here's the twist. Instead of wrapping in one dimension, like a clock, the torus wraps in 2 dimensions, like an infinite cosmic game of Pac-Man, where you can like wrap, you can like, no matter which, right? Right, makes sense, of course. Let's break it down. Picture yourself walking around this donut. You can loop horizontally or vertically, but no matter where you go, you'll always end up back where you started. That is modular arithmetic in action, applied in space itself. My brain's exploding. And about these loops, topologists spend decades figuring out how they can twist and turn. These loops reveal hidden symmetries. Yeah, I kind of like whimpered out at the end there. At some point, I want the language model to like simulate a bunch of scientists. I'm asking for too much. I'm asking for some cursed technology. Yes. Yes, make the scientists. Make them do the science. Make me science. Give me. Hey, Doug, that's here too. Bless you, bro. It's nice having you here, man. Yeah. Benefits of community. My mind is scattered these days, you know. So scattered. I feel like I'm thinking about many things, and most of them involve the future. Thinking about how we can feel of value, you know, how we can be of value, how we can benefit, how we can benefit the most from our immediate life, right? And very much from this perspective of holistic benefit, of like where does it benefit the world most for me to be? And asking that question actively and over again. It has given me a lot to think about, and I don't know if it is necessarily the best way to think about things because it does make you question your reality a lot. But it does feel like it's the question I'm supposed to be asking. All of this because I chose to post the melt symbol in my greetings. I blame myself. Mojo, that's how it works sometimes. Sometimes you say one thing. You can say, like, hi. You can give me a thumbs up, and I go, you know, in different countries, thumbs up means different things. And then I'll spiral talking about that, and then I'll hit some sort of other rock in the road, and then I'll be like, you know, this rock, and then something, something, something. Before we know it, you know, we've gone down so many rabbit holes that we might wonder how we ended up here. Taking a deep breath with you, friends, and then saying goodbye on this one, at least for now. I'll start up the next one, the horizontal stream. I appreciate you, friends, for joining me. Have an amazing day. I'll see you again real soon in the next one.